almost certainly not. But with Michael van Gerwen failing to make at least the quarter-final stage of a European Tour event for the first time in 2017, one in which he's competed, it is made for Peter Snakebite Wright to go on and claim a 4th Euro Tour title of the year, the 5th of his career, and move into the outright 2nd spot in the all-time Euro Tour title rankings, if you like, moving clear of Michael Smith, Phil Taylor
First right is Peter to throw first. Game on.
And Peter Wright does have the throw in this 2nd quarter-final here in Leverkusen. He dominated the European Tour at the start of the year, but has lost his mojo a little bit. This is the first time he's made a quarter-final in his last 6 events.
Yeah, June wasn't the best month for Peter Snakebite Wright. Didn't reach a quarter-final, and straight away in July he's put that right. If you can see the little numbers by their names,
100.
You're not aware, and you think I'm a madman for saying that Peter Wright was a world number 3 and Chisnall was a world number 6. Well, that is right. The seedings for these tournaments are done from the Pro Tour order of merits.
100.
Yeah, that's the 1-year money list, essentially, from all the tournaments away from the TV cameras. I know you're watching this now, obviously, but it's not one of the big TV major events. I'll tell you what, though, it's bigger crowds than some of them.
Yeah, a mini-major, as we call it. What do we call this?
We call it a maximum! And Dave Chisnall is very adept at providing them, although Peter Wright loves a 161. He loves it! Bullseye! Didn't love that dart.
Well, Dave Chisnall may well get a shot at the same target, the smallest target. May get even better, actually. Treble 11 for double 14.
93.
1 dart missed at the ball for Peter Wright, 1 dart missed at double 14 for Dave Chisnall. Both men narrowly missing a 12 dart leg. The double 16 will complete the job for Peter Wright to check out a 45 and a 1-0 lead for the UK Open champion.
Met on several occasions, this pair. Dave Chisnall actually edges the head-to-head stats just by 1 match. He's drawn a couple of times in the Premier League, but 11-10 Dave Chisnall. The Peter Wright win here would just put everything level again.
It would be level, yes, but Peter Wright has had the better of the more recent meetings, hasn't he? Because when you look at the head-to-head results, when they've met this year, it's 3 wins for Peter Wright and a draw in the Premier League. Did have a couple of big wins last year, Dave Chisnall, in semi-finals, in fact. 1 on TV at the Players' Championship Finals at Minehead, the home of World Darts, and 1 on the Euro Tour in Hamburg. That's when Dave Chisnall made his 6th European Tour final. He's only won the 1, but he's been close in 5 other events.
Yeah, Chisnall and Wright really were the 2 players that you said before this year began were the next major champions in waiting. Now, Peter Wright has put that right, if you pardon the expression. Took victory in the UK Open, should have added to that.
Yeah.
When he lost in the final of the Premier League against Michael van Gerwen.
Well, Dave Chisnall's still down to a finish. Peter Wright is going to have another look at the 161. Missed the bullseye for it in the first leg, didn't matter because he came back to the board. He's not going to take this out. Chizzy will be disappointed to have seen that dart fall out the board in his last visit, but he's still got a chance.
Well, it would be a real skin saver, but Dave Chisnall needed 2 treble 20s. And then the bullseye, and Peter Wright has a very good chance of grabbing an early break and doubling his lead.
And that's exactly what he's done. Peter Wright taking out 71 on double 16, 45 on double 16, both 14 dart legs. He has a 2-0 lead. And Peter Wright, who hasn't been playing his top-level stuff so far this weekend, he's had a couple of averages in the mid to high 90s. I mean, it was solid, it was good, but it wasn't Peter Wright's amazing best, which is perhaps what we saw at times at the UK Open, certainly at times on the European Tour this year. We definitely saw it in a couple of those finals, one where he defied an average of 110 from Benito van der Pas, and one where he beat Michael van Gerwen 6-0.
Yeah, he eased past Robbie Green, didn't he, 6-1. But against Stephen Bunting missed a dart at double 12 for a 1-1-6 checkout. That would have put him ahead. But Peter Wright took out 118, followed it with a 76 and then a 64 to get control of that match. Went on to win 6-3. But as you said, not seeing the ton-topping averages that we've become accustomed to seeing from Peter Wright. But he does have that knack of getting better and better as these tournaments goes on, and that is perhaps why he's won so many events this year.
Yeah, and that's the thing, he knows what it takes. Benito van der Pas, if you remember, he had darts to beat Peter Wright in that final. It was Saarbrücken, the German Darts Open, and Benito van der Pas had sort of performed a bit like Peter Wright in his first couple of games. It was good, but it wasn't great. But then he got better and better and better as the day went on, and he started chucking in the 100 averages in that final day. And by the time he reached the final, he was averaging 110 right the way through the 11 legs, and it still wasn't quite enough. Could have been, missed a couple of darts. But that's the sort of thing that somebody in the 7 players remaining is quite capable of going and doing, getting better and better, 3-ton plus averages back to back to back, and it's going to take something very special to stop them.
Yeah, I think you did make the point yesterday, Dan, as well, that Peter Wright may perhaps lost a bit of focus in his win against Robbie Green, but it's very much business head-on when it gets to the evening session on the Sunday night.
76.
Well, that would have been a typical Peter Wright finish, the kind of thing he's been doing on a regular basis that has propelled him to all these titles this year. See him miming that flyer of a dart. Needs this treble 18, gets the treble 18, double 16. And Peter Wright has had darts at double 16 and hit it first time both times. Dave Chisnall cannot find the double 16, and that means Peter Wright can go 3-0 up. Double 10. Still double 10. And there it is, last dart in hand. Peter Wright does pin double 10. It is 3-0. There is only the one break. It's not panic stations just yet for Dave Chisnall.
And he's always capable of hammering a high score from anywhere in Dave Chisnall. Needs to ignite some kind of charge though, because it is already slipping away from him.
140.
So one Scotsman go out, John Henderson. Can Peter Wright keep that flag flying?
80.
Of course, the both of these players will be flying around the world over the next couple of weeks. World Series events coming up in Shanghai and Las Vegas.
Yeah, Peter Wright will be leaving tomorrow for Shanghai. I assume Dave Chisnall will be on a similar flight. I think Peter Wright has got something like 5 days at home in the next 6 weeks with the World Series events in Shanghai and Vegas, and then Blackpool, of course. Now then Chizzy. Oh, it's quite a way off the treble 19 that he wanted. Peter Wright again has left 161. He's missed the bullseye for it once in this game. Is he going to give himself a chance at the bullseye again for 4-0 and a double break? Well, he might, but not quite.
Well, he's a perfectionist, isn't he, Peter Wright? And it wouldn't surprise him if he's got this ongoing battle in his head now. I need to take out 161 in this match, and I will not be satisfied even if I win 6-0. That doesn't look likely with Dave Chisnall having 2 darts at top. And that prospect has gone, and Chisnall's off the mark.
Well, 1 leg won for Chizzy, 5 more needed. He can only afford to lose 2 against the world number 3. And look, while still in this game, it is still a tall order, particularly against a man who he hasn't beaten since the back end of last year.
Yeah, and Chisnall has averaged over a ton in both of his games so far, just over a ton in wins against two Jameses, Wade and Richardson.
I'm trying to remember their Premier League draw meeting earlier this year. As I recall, I think Chizzy was dominating that game, and Peter Wright came back from something like 6-2 down or something like that to get the draw. And it ended up being quite pivotal because Dave Chisnall obviously just missed out on the playoffs.
You're struggling to recall it, Dan. I wonder if it was a night that you were there as a punter.
Obviously, the emotion of the evening must have clouded my memory somewhat.
80.
Well, 1-2-1 rather than 1-6-1. An easier equation. Yeah, he does like going this way. 96 left.
65.
A few voices in the crowd trying to G their man Chizzy on. Not worked.
16. Peter Wright, 56.
16 for double top for Peter Snakebite Wright, and yet another 14 dart leg. Well, double 10 for a 15. But he's going to come back. A little bit awkward, that double 5.
Chisnall needs to try and take a chunk out of this 2-2-2 just to apply some pressure. He's managed that. Down to a 2-darter. But it's not one that is going to get a go at.
Well, we said at the start of that leg that Dave Chisnall could afford to lose a couple of legs. He's immediately lost one of them, so the margin for error is getting smaller and smaller and smaller for Dave Chisnall.
45.
And that is an error. Peter Wright has reverted back to an old set of darts for this weekend, but they are a set with which he's persevered over the course of this weekend. That's not to say that he'll be throwing the same darts in the semi-final and the final.
The problem here for Dave Chisnall, and that visit paints that picture perfectly, is that a lot of his darts are going low when he's aiming at treble 20, and that makes it more difficult for him.
100.
I'm not sure what causes that, and we'll get Paul Nicholson to talk about the technical aspects of the game later on, but that's perfect for him.
And that's a perfect visit from Chizzy when he is getting that first dart right. I mean, he's had 4 ton 40 plus scores and a couple of ton 80s, but he's not hit many tons. It's that first dart is making life very difficult for him, and he's only coming away with 60 points. And it's happening too often for Dave Chisnall. See, that's better, that's high, and he can work off it. But he doesn't with the second dart.
I think he just flicked the flight. His first to a finish in this leg. Peter Wright is breathing down his neck.
140.
Throwing a little bit quickly, Peter Wright. Has been all weekend for my liking. I think he's better when he slows down. But Chizzy, can he take this out? Well, no, he's not going to. And again, he comes down looking at the 19s, and he's drifted quite a long way into the 7s.
Yeah, well, he seemed reluctant to go for the 19s when he's thrown a low dart at treble 20, and maybe that's why. Maybe he's been suffering that fate of late. Peter Wright, with a very Peter Wright finish in front of him.
Yeah, one of these one treble finishes. Treble 18. Oh no, he stayed there. Like the lie, used it. Double 15, there it is. Trademark Snakebite stuff, it's 5-1.
Well, he would have gone to the board, Dan, thinking if I miss, I'll go for treble 18. But the lie was so perfect for him, he could not resist staying there, and it proved to be a very, very good choice indeed.
He follows it with perhaps the worst dart he's thrown all weekend.
83.
Peter Wright has been much more adept at doing that in this game. If he has had a dart that's missed the treble 20, he's been better at adjusting. Now, Chizzy.
85.
Yeah, it's just not quite there for Dave Chisnall. He's put in back-to-back ton plus average, well, pretty much ton level averages so far this weekend, but he's only averaging around about the 92 mark at the moment, Dave Chisnall. And as we said, if you're going to go and win these tournaments, you tend to have to get better as they go on, particularly once you get to this final session. You've got to play some very, very solid and consistent darts, and it's not quite been at that level for Dave Chisnall so far. I mean, look, he's not out of it. He's very close to being out of it.
Yeah, not sure if there's perhaps signs of fatigue in the Dave Chisnall throw. I know he took a weekend off the European Tour earlier this year just to rest and recuperate and refresh himself.
Well, he's had a week in Tenerife before coming out.
A direct quote from Dave himself, is it?
Pretty much, yeah. Only be many great words that the orator from St Helens has given us over the years.
Well, this is not a story he'll want to relay, is it? Finds himself 5-1 down, and Peter Wright needing 66. Has a sense of inevitability about it. That 140 could be the last score that Dave Chisnall records in this Happy Bet European Darts Open.
Could be bull 8-8 here, might be treble 10. Well, he went the bull route, 9-16 for a 6-1 win. And Peter Wright continues his excellent run of results against Dave Chisnall. 5 times they have met in 2017. There's been 1 draw and 0 wins for Chizzy, as once again Peter Wright moves through to the semi-finals on the European Tour. He's in the hunt for a 4th Euro Tour title this year and a 5th of his career. He will face Mensur Suljovic for a place in the final of the Happy Bet European Darts Open. We're going to have a look at the other half of the draw now. 4 men are in it. A couple of them have won Euro Tour titles before now. The other 2 have won PDC titles, but not on a European Tour stage. It is Mervyn King versus Rob Cross, but before that, Michael Smith, another 4-time winner on the Euro Tour, who averaged 104 earlier on this afternoon in seeing off Darrell Gurney, goes up against Wales' top player, their World Cup captain, the Iceman, Gerwyn Price.
Ja, und so viel Zeit muss natürlich sein. Joe was already telling me he has to hurry up. Peter, congratulations, 6-1. I didn't expect that.
I didn't expect it either. Obviously, we both struggled. Obviously, you guys struggled from the break as well because you weren't very loud.
Yeah, it's on the Sunday. That's my impression. The quarterfinal is the most difficult match after you have this long break again and have to focus again.
Obviously, like it's very hard playing in early morning, afternoon, and deciding what to do. You know, I went back to the room, come back here, and I was starting to fall asleep back here because you're just so dry, tired, and you're drained at energy level. But when you get out here, all you guys wake me up.
Mensur Suljovic is the next one, semi-finals. Tough cookie.
I've been practicing with Mensur. He's fantastic. I love him to bits. You know, he's not called gentleman for nothing.
That's right. Thank you very much. See you later. Peter Wright.